guys? I'm just walking around after my Versa Climber class this morning, and I really wonder how we can start a peace movement. For most of my life, I thought the US was the good guys. Germany was the good guys. And slowly by slowly, it has all crumbled. And I think it started in the 90s. I'm not going to blame Clinton for it. But when we start outsourcing our manufacturing, and now I think we produce 13% of our GDP, but consume 70%. We don't really make anything anymore. And all the jobs that they're creating, they're low-wage jobs, like they have been for 20 years in the hospitality industry. Services, hospitality, low-paying jobs. During COVID, there was a billionaire created every day. They told small businesses they couldn't work while the big ones could stay open. So NAFTA was a big problem, but also there was a big change in our media. When Clinton signed the Federal Communications Act, which allowed big companies to buy up the media companies, we lost our fourth branch of government, the media, the independent media that's supposed to scrutinize and hold accountable the executive branch, the judicial branch, and the congressional branch. I think I have these branches correct. Correct me in the comments if I got this wrong. And the media was supposed to expose corruption, hold them accountable, and the judiciary system. I think the judiciary system does still work pretty well, but the media has now become complicit because they've been bought out by the very same people that have bought out the administrative and the congressional branches. So we are not really being made aware of all of the corruption that's going on. The other thing I want to say is that I've become aware that the US, far from being the good guys, if you think about all the wars we started, Libya was doing fine when we invaded them. Afghanistan, Iraq, now Ukraine, Israel, we're the big warmongers, and it's our the colonialism and the imperialism that we used to kill all the Indians. We're using that still. We're still colonialists, we're still imperialists. Not you and me personally, but our government is committing war crimes and has been for years, and has used their bully pulpit. They're like an abusive boyfriend. We think they're good, we pledge allegiance, but yet they spy on us, which I think so far might be fine. They tried to force us to get vaccinated. They forced us into lockdown. They're devaluing our dollar. They're not honest with us. They lie to us. And they're starting wars and then telling us the other countries are bad. It's for democracy. Well, Ukraine wasn't democratic at all. It was the most corrupt state in Europe before we start meddling in it in 2014, and long before, when we started destabilizing Ukraine. And in 2014, the US conducted a coup to get rid of the democratically elected president who was favorable to Russia, and they put in Zelensky because they wanted to weaken Russia and weaken China. That's what they're trying to do now. They're trying to weaken Russia, and these people in power, they're living in a different world of the evil boyfriend. And unlike you and me, that would go to jail if we kill someone, when Biden or Trump or Bush kill people, they're considered heroes, American heroes. They're no different than the gangsters, the Crips. Biden, Bush, the whole administrative branch, all the Congress people are like the Crips. They go around killing people, and we think it's good because they use language to gaslight us. And if we are against it, then they say that we're not loyal. Well, I'm not loyal to your war bullshit. And then the word peace is like a bad word. It sounds so pacifist. Well, peace isn't pacifist, because I'm pissed, I'm angry, and I'm for peace. I'm thinking of getting a bumper sticker made that has peace with some kind of a logo that denotes power and strength. Look at Russia and China, they're in peace. Look at how powerful they're getting. That's where the power and the strength comes. I'm thinking about making a peace sign with a bunch of dollar signs or gold or something, maybe with a put a cock in there, I don't know, something hot, pieces hot. But we need to get back to manufacturing, making things in our own country. We've hollowed out our own economy, but the rich people don't care. And now they're telling us that, okay, first of all, Britain was the bad guys at one point, right? Britain was the bad guys, so we wanted independence from Britain, but now they're our ally. Vietnam was once the bad guy, the bad commies. Well, now most of our textiles are imported from Vietnam. They're no longer the bad guys, are they? At one time, Mexico was our enemy. Now they're an ally. Russia can be an ally. China can be an ally. But we need to start making things in this country again. And because we can't compete, they have to put tariffs on things that we import from China, on these electric cars. That's going to double the price of cars and cause even more inflation because we stopped making things. Why did we stop making things? Because the corporations wanted to make more money. When we got rid of the independent media, the little mom and pop media, and also, the whole thing with Julian Assange is all part of that. Them trying to control what we can say, them muzzling us during COVID. When I had a strike on a video on YouTube during the lockdown, just for saying that the FDA and the CDC and the World Health Organization are 40% funded by Big Pharma. It's actually true. You can look it up. They tried to muzzle us. Thank God we still had, some hearings on Fauci. Remember Fauci saying, "I'm science"? Yeah. And people hailed him as a hero. He was evil all along. People have to wake up. People don't want to listen to the news because it's very depressing. And I don't blame you. But this country is on a very bad track. They are now not only has US intelligence been in Ukraine all along to fight in Ukraine, Russia was willing to overlook that, but now they're starting to attack military targets inside Russia, which is an attack on Russia. And the next time they do it, Russia is going to retaliate on NATO soil, as they should. We say that Israel is bad for killing the Palestinians, but we sent the weapons. It's our Boeing weapons. And this pier that they were building, that they were supposed to deliver aid, they lied to us about that too. That was there to do a secret military operation to get out the special, what are they called? Special forces out of Palestine. There are a lot of evil people in our government, and us not questioning them is just allowing them to continue and drive us right into escalating this war. Now they want Netanyahu to come and talk in Congress. They're assailing him as a big hero, where they won't even talk to Russia about making a peace treaty. Russia keeps wanting to make a peace treaty. Biden won't even talk to Russia. Putin is bad, but Netanyahu is good. I think people have to wake up and realize that our government is evil, like J.P. Miller is evil, and the Long Island serial killer. I think our government is worse than the Long Island serial killer because they have more power and they're dismembering and decapitating more people, innocent people. Our government has killed more people than the Long Island serial killer, than any serial killer. So I'm going to say Biden, Trump, and all of our presidents are serial killers. And I can't vote because I'm an EU citizen, but all of you can vote. And you're voting in the same old idiots again and again because they gaslight you and tell you if you don't vote for them, your vote is thrown away. They minimize you, they devalue you, they gaslight you, and they abuse you and abuse other people with our money. We're complicit in all of it. And peace has become a dirty word. Now, they're also devaluing the dollar. And by the way, just so you know, there is $33 trillion of commercial debt, real estate debt coming due in the next 2.5 years that they can't refinance. They're going to be a lot more bank failures because they have lent money for all these commercial properties that are mostly vacant. There's a 20% commercial vacancy rate right now because more and more people are working from home, so they don't need to go into the office. Something like 20% vacancy rate, or on the average. So if they're not getting those rents, then they can't you know, pay the mortgages on those buildings. Now, I think it's great that people are working from home, but there's going to be a lot more fallout, and that's why the price of gold is going up. But you know, they talk about the stock market. Most people don't have money in the stock market. A lot of people don't even have money to make their car payments. They're sending false flags, and then we know what they're going to do. They're going to do something to make it look like Russia is bad, like they did with Pearl Harbor. Let's see, why did they bomb Pearl Harbor? The Japanese, because the US froze their assets, stole their money. That's why. This is not unprovoked. We provoke people all the fucking time, and then we say they're bad. They do propaganda stuff. The CIA does propaganda stuff. They do propaganda stuff. And people believe it because we don't have an independent media. That's the problem. And people are not paying attention. People are just in their la-la land, you know, just uninvolved because life here is good. We haven't been attacked on our soil. That's why we seem so. I think the reason Americans are so complacent about the geopolitical and economic financial environment is because, number one, the dollar is the reserve currency. So we've had a lot of privilege that we've abused. And number two, we have not been attacked on our soil ever. You know? I'm from Germany, so my grandparents' house was occupied during World War II by the soldiers. They demolished it. They had to rebuild the whole house. My grandfather has a bunker in his backyard, or had a bunker in his backyard that we played in as kids. You know, my mom, when she was a little girl, they had to wake up in the middle of the night and go to the big bunker because the bombs were falling overhead. You know, the Germans remember the war. They've been bombed. Everybody remembers the war. They've all been bombed. But the U.S., I don't think the U.S. has been attacked. So people are very complacent. You know, that's why. So we are privileged. And from that place of privilege, I don't know what we can do. I would like to join a peace movement that already exists. I'm not like an activist, but I would like to go to a peace march. If there's a peace march in San Diego, I want to go to it. But not in a pacifist way, in a like I'm angry way, like in a strong way, in a bold way, in an angry way. Because peace isn't something we're like, oh, peace, smoke weed. They tried to make peace a very hippie, drug-induced thing with peacetime, smoke weed, lay around and fuck and get high. No, peace is a huge responsibility. It's action. It's coming out of anger for what is. And it's building and it's constructing and it's making a better world with love and with action and with discipline. It's not a pacifist thing. Those people, that whole peace thing that they have is for losers that sit around and get high and do nothing. Like the polyamorous people I met at the play parties that just are people that just want to meditate all day. They're just druggies. That's not what peace is. And by the way, we have to start making things again in this country because we don't make anything. And people think this is okay. They wonder why they're broke. They're blaming themselves, and they don't realize it's the system. It's like when you have the women that have an abusive boyfriend, they're like, am I going crazy? Something doesn't seem right. And he's telling you, you're crazy. Something's wrong with you. You're too sensitive. That's our government. They lie to us. Every time there's a White House press briefing, they're lying. Rachel Maddow lies. They all lie. And people think they're so great. Oh, I'm a Democrat. Well, the Democratic and Republican parties really changed in the 90s, and they became a lot more evil and corrupt. And now that the U.S. power is declining and the empire is declining, and we have inflation, they're getting more and more desperate. They attacked 2 of Russia's nuclear defense detection systems. How would we like it if Russia bombed 2 of our nuclear detection systems? If we even have that, I don't even know. That's an act of war. Russia has been very patient, but somebody needs to stop the U.S. from their never-ending expansion. It's not good. It's not good, guys.